Alright, so this is how you can control the yarns with a, for example, I want to use Ableton to control yarns and send MIDI notes out in a CV and use that to trigger some other modules. I have the setup here is I have my yarns, into that is going this shitty USB MIDI interface that has two MIDI cables. This is the one that's supposed to go into the input, and then I have the CV coming out of the yarns into a volt per octave in a bias, and also the trigger from over here going into the bias. The same thing really, a trigger together with which note is being played is going into this other module, and that's going into my sound card, shitty sound card, into my shitty speakers in my shitty computer. Anyway, so what you gotta do is you gotta put yourself on the 4P, that's the 4 polyphonic mode. You gotta set the tempo to external if you want Ableton or whatever DAW you have to control the tempo. And then the other important setting is the CH, which stands for channel, which is MIDI channel. You gotta set it to the same channel that you want to output MIDI from your DAW. I'm using Ableton and I'm outputting MIDI to channel 1. I could put it on channel 10 or something else, as long as it's the same as the yarns is set to. So that should be it. Oh yeah, also you need to go to this voicing menu and change, mostly it's on the PO as default, which is the polyphonic mode, and basically what this setting, the voicing setting does is that it sorts MIDI notes coming in out into the different outputs here if you press more than one note at a time. So let's say you press one note, then it will say, okay, go to the first one. You press a second note at the same time as the first one, it would put it down to the second one, and so forth with 4 notes. What happens when you have 4 notes and you let go of the first one and press another one? That's how this setting works. It will choose different settings. You can choose different settings to tell it how to sort them. And the one you need to use and know is the one called sorted, which is really cool because the way it sorts it is that it takes the first MIDI note that you press and always put it into the first. If you press 2 down at the same time, then the first will be in the first, the second will be in the second, like such. So if I have my push here, for example, and if I press a note here, I have the repeat functionality turned on because I like the 16th notes. If I press this one, it will always go to the first output here. If I then press 2 down at the same time, then whenever I press the second one as well, it will go to the second one, while the first one will keep playing on the first output, which is really neat because then you can do like melody stuff with one output and then do modulation, for example, or if I can get it right, you get the idea, I think. Anyway, so that's the basic way of how to do it. Use the 4 polyphonic, make sure the MIDI channel is set to the right one, and set the voicing to sort it, because that's the most logical way to use it, I think, at least in this use case. For those of you who have gotten this far in the video, I can tell you that I ran into a problem here with my Ableton, because when I was just in, well, not the not play mode, this is playing, this is not playing. When I was in this mode, and I did something here, oh yeah, now it's making problems again. Let's see, there we go. I could do this, and the repeat functionality works fine. And I guess if you're using another MIDI interface, it might be like you're pressing it really fast or something. And I found that if I recorded something in Ableton on the MIDI track and tried to play really fast, for example, it wouldn't get all of the notes, especially with this repeat. It's like it's supposed to get all of the notes and send it out. And I see here in Ableton that it does in fact record all these 16ths, but it doesn't receive them on the other end here. And I found out that that is just a matter of settings. So if I go to the settings, command comma, and go to link MIDI, I have my very shitty USB MIDI interface here output, and it's set to sync, it's set to on, and I turned that off, and I found that that worked. And I guess maybe that's because I'm guessing that Ableton's trying to set some kind of sync blip or something only when it's playing, which I'm guessing is confusing the poor yarns module over there. So now it's fixed, and if I do this, I can do this, and if I play the clip I just made with the 16th, it works. So yeah, that's a bit of a tutorial on how to use, for example, a MIDI controller to control Ableton sending MIDI from here to the yarns into whatever module you want to send it into. So I hope this is helpful. I just want to say that I'm doing this video because I watched another video that didn't help me very much. I'm guessing it had some useful points. No offense or nothing, but it's like it's not that useful, this video, and there's really not a lot of people who have done stuff about the yarns MIDI stuff. Like, yeah, so I'm hoping that this will be helpful to some people. Bye.